Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So, Sagittarius, tonight we have the High Priestess. Such a wonderful energy. I love this depiction of the High Priestess. She looks very... what's the word? I was gonna say it is almost kind of like 70s fantasy meets like brutalism. Something like this, I don't know. But the colors and seated in this beautiful and harsh brutal, and that's what it is. If you don't know what brutalism is, go look it up. It is a style of design architecture, and they just made a movie about a dude that was I didn't watch it, but and I will when it's on one of my channels for free. But this is the archetype of wisdom, right? Now, the priestess is interesting because we often think of the Hierophant, the priestess, the Pope, Papa, the Magus, the magician, as probably being kind of untethered from romantic relationships or couplings. These are people, these are beings, these are intelligences that are usually kind of othered from mainstream society, right? You can think of like a priest going to live in a monastery, or a nun, living in a cloistered community, or a monk, or a sadhu, or, somebody who has absolutely dedicated themselves to their practice, which in this case probably some kind of magic, divination, prophecy, so on and so forth. But the thing is really that the High Priestess dwells within all of us. If we are somebody that is super family oriented, if we have, our beloved other, or if we are somebody that's traveling life kind of in this more solitary journey, right? So when I see this card, especially having to do with you, Sagittarius, I feel like this really is a time of allowing yourself to go where you know you need to. Even if it's something that doesn't seem, exciting or interesting or joyful. Sometimes it's like when you realize, maybe I need to find a counselor. Maybe I need to, find some kind of therapeutic modality or technique or whatever. We don't often arrive at that place under the best circumstances. And it doesn't always feel good to, say to ourselves, you need a little bit of help here. You might need somebody that can really listen to you, that can help you find the tools that you might need, right? And so when I see the High Priestess, I know that this is an energy, this is a time where you are making difficult decisions, but you are operating from a place of not just knowing and understanding, but wisdom, functional wisdom. You know exactly how things will go, right? And you'll know how they're going to go if you choose not to do anything at all, or if you choose to do all the thing, or so on and so forth. So let's go ahead. I know that was a long intro to that card, but sometimes the cards are just so powerful, and we have to talk. We have to commune with them and talk about them. Okay, we're going to take a look and see what the tea leaves have to say today. And I want to go ahead and take this little opportunity here to say thank you so much for deciding to click on this reading and spend some of your precious time with little old me. It really, truly is a huge honor for me to be able to bring these insights, these messages, and so on and so forth right to you. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm seeing that is very, very just obvious, right? We have down here, it looks like the face of a cat. We have the eyes, we have the ear. Ear would be here, and then you can see kind of those cute little that part where the little whiskers come out of, right? It's something about that part of their face, which is very cute. So we have that cute cat. The cat often represents somebody who is very much an independent person and very individual, maybe solitary, maybe a little introverted, or just kind of not super interested in socializing. They kind of just do what they do, and if you don't like it, then what the heck, you know? They're not your kind of person, right? Now up here we have the wolf. Look at that. You can see here are the ears, and here's the face, and this would be where the little muzzle would be, and the eyes, and it looks pretty vicious, right? And it's right behind this cat. We know the cat and dog kind of dynamic. Dog chases cat, you know, gets all poofed up, and shenanigans ensue. But what I do feel like is going on here is almost a sense of being, well, pursued, but it's almost kind of like somebody close to you, I feel like just this feeling of like somebody lurking in the shadows, like they're waiting for their opportunity. I don't feel like this is like they're pursuing you because they're interested in like dating or anything like that, but I feel like this is more like angling towards some kind of power. Right? Now, this might be going on at work, and they're watching you, looking for any excuse to try to get your position. This might be within the family. If you've ever had somebody important in the family, like a head of the family, or like grandma, grandpa, transition, passed away, and then you see all these people coming out of the woodwork, some you know very well, and maybe some you've never even met or heard of, right? But they're family. And they all show up, and they all start really just, well, you know what happens. They start fighting over stuff, right? And everybody wants to be in charge, but nobody wants to be responsible for everything, right? So I feel like this is kind of a similar energy. Now, I don't know if it's exactly that, but there's this feeling of somebody really, it's like they're on the prowl. It's like they're planning, they're making their plans, they're shifty, they're really trying to get in there. And I feel like for you, you are very observant, you know, you can sense something, the atmosphere has shifted, right? But I also feel like you're not very worried about it because you know this person, you know what they're capable of, and you also know what you are capable of, right? So I feel like this situation with this shady person, work person, family person, I don't know, person down the block, whoever it is in your life, I feel like this pushes you further into this kind of like, I don't want to, am I allowed to say F? I don't know. F with this energy anymore. It just absolutely, it doesn't feel good. right? It doesn't feel good to have to always be looking over your shoulder, worrying. What are they thinking? What are they doing? What are they after? Da 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 da. What are they gonna do? You know, you might even start to feel a little unsafe. So I can imagine, and I would be very similar. It would push you into a place of not really wanting to be around anybody, right? Because it's like, how I can't trust this person. You know. Who else? What else? Right? What else could go wrong? What else is going to be revealed here to me? So I see you kind of walking away from your, I guess, social outlets a little bit. I see you spending a lot more time with yourself and by the house and kind of just doing your own thing in this next cycle of time. Which honestly, I don't think seems like a very bad thing at all. I mean, it sounds pretty great, to be honest. Okay, so we're going to look up here. We have a butterfly up here. We have the letter K right there. And I feel like there is a sense of maybe starting to get together with a chosen group of people or a chosen person. And I could see this, I don't know why, but it says Puma in there. I am thinking of the shoes immediately. Puma was such a big deal when I was a kid, in high school. So immediately I'm thinking of the shoes and the tracksuits and I don't know, maybe this person wears Puma stuff. But I almost feel like there's this opening, this moment, this kind of almost like invitation from the universe. But I do feel like there is this connection with somebody, and it's all about manifesting together, doing magic together, right? Getting together and trying some things, you know, maybe you might be dabbling in some actual physical magic, right? And what does that look like? I mean, it depends on the system you're using and, you know, what is your intent, and, you know, what do you feel comfortable with? But here it almost kind of looks like conjuring. And I feel like there's this real draw towards like looking for, I want to say it's like a familiar, but it's not necessarily a familiar or a spirit animal or a totem animal, but almost like you're looking for some kind of symbolic, probably animal. I'm looking at it right here. It's a horse. Some kind of sign almost for like your work. Maybe it is to do with like your personal work. You're looking for attributes of this cycle, and it could be that you are looking for kind of an animal symbolism as something that can be part of, you know, a marker for this particular work. If you've ever done any kind of like longer operation or you know, like maybe a series of magical rituals, or, you know, you have some larger intent that involves a lot of different steps. Anyways, I myself will often use symbols to kind of block off the different chapters or scenes, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. I often will picture these as doors, and above the door there will be a symbol that is particular to that part of the cycle of work, and that's how I can access it easily. So I almost kind of wonder if you're looking for some kind of, I don't know, like a symbol for, to stamp on this thing, right? Like maybe you have like a portfolio, you want to design, you know, it's like your magical diary and you want to put some kind of animal symbol on it or whatever it is. But to me, I feel like very much related to you right now, the horse. And what is the horse all about within symbolism? Well, I relate it very much to this very intentional decision to change something about your life. Usually something pretty fundamental, right? And it could be something quite literal, like you are getting ready to move somewhere. You've chosen that you are moving and you found your place, and now you're going to pack up the old covered wagon, you're going to get that horse hitched up, and you're going to get going, right? Well, maybe not, right? Maybe not moving in a covered wagon. But it's about that robust energy, that vitality, that motivation, that fiery thing that you need to get you going, right? You know in your mind what I need to do and where I want to go, but it's really often about getting ourselves going, moving towards. Get the wheels a spinning. And so I feel like in this period of time you will be working with somebody I feel like they're in a physical body. It's not just like an entity or something that's like, you know, whispering in your ear late at night while you write your grimoire. But yeah, I feel like this is a real person. So if you have a magical partner or you're looking for one, it will be coming soon, right? They're going to show up pretty soon here. Also, the letter W seems very important in this cycle of time. All right, let's go over here. We're going to take a look on this side. Okay, so we have the bird. We have the dove. All these little tea leaves everywhere. We have the little dove, and right now I have to say, very much related in my mind to the passing of Pope Francis, right? I always think of having to do with him. Rest in peace, absolutely. I am not a part of Catholicism in any form, but I appreciate greatly. I appreciate the system and the depth of, esoteria, saint worship cults. Oh my goodness, the magic. It's the lore. It's just so. Yes. I'm all about it. But what I was going to say is I always think about, there's this video, and I don't remember which pope it was, but maybe like the last one or the one before. I don't remember exactly. But they release a dove out of like the window at that square where people like meet up to see the Pope in the window. I don't know what that is. Vatican Square maybe. And they let go of the dove, and then immediately like a hawk grabs it. I shouldn't laugh, and it's really terrible actually. A lot of these birds that people will get for like weddings and that kind of thing, they're obviously domesticated. They're, like kind of like pigeons, right? They go back and live probably in like a cage and a little colony and stuff. And a lot of them are ill-equipped for the outside world. And yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. So I'm looking at this, and there is that beautiful duality, right? The peace, the freedom of the dove, the beauty, the purity, as a symbol of Sophia or, the Holy Spirit. But also, on the flip side, vulnerable, very vulnerable at times. And, and so I feel like there maybe is kind of a back and forth that you go through with yourself. I think that you're probably a person that, like, it's like you have so much you want to say and share, and as soon as you start to do that, you back up a little bit. You go a little slower. You start to think like, maybe I don't need to be telling everybody my business. Maybe they don't care. Maybe I'm bothering that, this kind of thing where it's like, I have all this stuff to say, but as I'm saying it, I feel like, it's not really important to anybody else. And why would it be, right? But, I think that part of being a human being, being a conscious being, is that we want to connect with other people, other things. We want to express ourselves. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to hear. We want to see, and so sometimes we have to kind of, realize that we analyze ourselves and our behaviors and how people might perceive us and, all these things so much more than anybody else ever would, right? I have to constantly tell myself, I get social anxiety really, really badly. And sometimes even panic attack. I mean, I'm no stranger to that. But, something that sometimes helps, not always, but sometimes I think, when I'm going through my life and things are just kind of flowing as usual and I'm not really feeling anxious, or I'm just, going about my business, and maybe I'm talking to people in public and, among strangers and community members and so on and so forth. But I don't really notice or care what people are doing. Or if I see somebody doing something, I'm like not judging them till, the end of time. Like, I think, oh man, I hope they're having, an okay day. I hope it gets better for them. Or somebody's talking my ear off at the store and and I'm trying to keep up with the small talk and chit chat, and I'm thinking, no, this isn't annoying. I feel uncomfortable because I'm talking to somebody, but maybe this person just needs to talk to somebody. Maybe they haven't talked to anybody in a few days, maybe nobody listens to them, or maybe, they're the person that they usually can commune with isn't available, or maybe they're gone, or, whatever it is. So, I try. I try to remind myself of these things, and it makes it easier. It makes it a little easier. So that is to say, and I think that Sagittarius, it's not that you care you're not going to let somebody's opinion dictate your whole life, but I think that you are fairly sensitive to other people's opinions. And I feel like this is a time where you're looking for this peace within your life. You're looking for kind of finding your next stability, right? Like the next place that you get in that feels good and consistent, and you can really just know that this is how things are gonna go, and this is like the way I've set up my life and my routine and so on and so forth. So that is to say, it feels like you're in a transitional period, but you're getting there. You're getting to that place. And I think, I feel like probably you want to talk about some of how you're feeling and the things you're thinking about and doing and all that with somebody. And if you haven't been, then I think it's really a good time to kind of activate your support system and talk to somebody who you trust. We all need somebody that will listen to us ramble about our lives a little bit. So we also have a turtle, we have a frog, it looks like the pond outside. Our toads are going nuts outside. And when I was coming home from dropping off my daughter at school, my husband and I, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, my husband and I saw a little turtle on the grass sunning itself. Painted turtle. Very pretty. So we also have it. So I'm gonna say this feels to me like re-emerging into the world. Okay, you know, all of the critters coming out of the pond and the lake and the creek and wherever they've been sleeping, and getting in the sun and warming themselves and, you know, preparing for this next period of time. Now, I also see that we have, it looks like a mother and child. And I feel like there seems to be, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's an anniversary or a birthday, but maybe your mother, and I'm wondering if she has passed away. Because it doesn't feel like her energy is here as far as, you know, being in her corporeal body, but still around, right? And you perceive her, I think. I feel like you feel her, definitely. So, something about mom. Something about mom. Now, let's do our 3 lucky numbers. We have number 98, number 98, number 13, number 13, 43, number 43. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and end with our Indigo Sage affirmation cards. And I'm just going to go ahead and flip through, stop where it feels right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it says, number 10, appreciation illuminates. Embrace an absolute love of life without exception. Embrace an absolute love of life without exception. All right. Well, I want to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, Sagittarius. I was just listening to this thing. I can't remember what the guy's name was, but it really got me thinking. He was talking about really embracing an identity that you want to get into. He was talking about, like, when somebody says, oh, are you creative? And you say, oh, no, I'm not really an artist. Well, maybe you are an artist. And maybe if you started calling yourself a creative person, you would be doing more creative stuff, right? And so I'm thinking, you know, there's so many things that I want to be that I don't feel confident saying that I am. Well, even just being confident, right? That's who I want to try to role play myself into, is being a confident lady, you know? I'm not always. Sometimes, you know, I have my moments and certain things I'm pretty confident about, but there are plenty of things that I feel all kinds of insecurities about, you know. I mean, I've talked about that here, especially even just having the channel. You know, I'm married to my partner, my business partner, and also, you know, my partner in life, but he also has a channel. And, you know, when we first started here, it was hard because we were receiving all kinds of, you know, comments and emails and, you know, just people being kind of weird and flirtatious, and it still happens. I mean, it happens to him, it happens to me. And, you know, and it doesn't make me feel some type of way sometimes. Yeah, of course it does. Does it make him feel some type of way sometimes? Of course it does. But I don't want that to rule me, you know, and usually I don't even think about it, but, you know, there's those days once in a while, you know, and you think, oh my gosh, person is saying this thing on this, like, and it hurts your feelings. It makes you feel, I don't know, it just, you know, and yet, we are letting ourselves feel that way. And I'm going to say we are. I mean me. And so I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this because I was thinking like, man, it's all about manifesting, not just the stuff we want in life or the things we want to do in life and things in the physical world, but it's also often about like, I want to work within a certain archetype, or, I want to really like hone these certain attributes that I would love to really be quite proficient within, and a lot of that is, it's not easy, but I'm wondering, is this one of the ways that we can get there? Just kind of, well, sometimes people call it like faking it till you make it. Other people, tell you just dress for the part until you get it, right? Or, dress for the job you want to have or whatever it is, right? And so maybe there is something to it all. And I'll come back in a few weeks and I'll let you know how it's going. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, for me, this is one of the things, like, the big three, I want to work on some confidence for myself and, just generally feeling, I don't know, less insecure, right? What are the other two? I want to be more patient. I want to be a patient person. I am a patient. Here's the thing. I don't want to say I want to be a patient person. I'm going to say I am a patient person. I am a patient person. And we'll see how that comes along. But also, I want to be like a place of refuge, right? Not like somewhere where somebody comes to, dwell. No, but I want to be a safe place for people. I want to be somebody that people trust. I want to be somebody that, like if you don't know who to talk to and you think, well, Lenor, I could talk to Lenor. She wouldn't judge me or tell people about what I had to say, which is true. I'm not going to judge you and I'm not going to tell anybody what you have to say. But I do. I want to be that person for people. And I feel like usually I am. Usually I think people feel like that towards me. But those are the big things for me to be working on in this next time. And I'm going to be working with manifestation to do it. And we're going to see where it takes us. Now, if you have things that you want to manifest within your life experience, the way that you live your life, your personality, your persona, your, coping mechanisms, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, what are some of the things that you would like to manifest within self? I'm interested. I'm so interested. Yeah. And I think that's it. Sagittarius. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I want to hear from you. Other than that, again, I want to say I love you. Please take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.